My beloved brothers and sisters, today I want to remind you of something many overlook. There are people among us who have made the most courageous decision a human can make. They have chosen the path of truth, the path of Allah. These are our reverts. They are new to faith, new to this journey, and often new to a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. When someone accepts Islam, they may lose family, friends, a sense of belonging, even the life they once knew. They step forward with a heart full of hope, but a life suddenly filled with challenges. Imagine a person standing alone, discovering prayer, learning how to speak to Allah, trying to understand what is halal and haram, all while facing emotional storms that nobody sees. When a person accepts Islam, many people see the moment of their shahada, the beautiful tears, the joy, the smile. But very few understand the silent struggles that begin right after that moment. A revert enters Islam with a heart full of sincerity, but with a world full of challenges. Imagine someone who has just stepped into a completely new way of life. They may have never prayed before, never touched the Quran, never said Bismillah before eating. These things that come so naturally to those born into Islam feel overwhelming for someone starting from zero. And on top of that, they often carry emotional wounds, family rejecting them, friends distancing themselves, and a society that may misunderstand them. These wounds are real but invisible. Most people never see them. That is why our support becomes their oxygen. Without it, they struggle to breathe spiritually. Many reverts face loneliness that cuts deeper than we can imagine. They may have lost their home, their social circle, or even basic emotional security. They walk into the masjid hoping to find comfort, but sometimes walk out feeling even more alone because everyone is busy with their own world. Some reverts cry silently at night, wondering if they made a mistake, not because Islam is difficult, but because the road around them feels empty. You have no idea how many of them yearn for a simple, "How are you? Do you need anything? How can I help?" These small gestures become mountains of support in their hearts. When you reach out to a revert, you're not offering help. You're offering belonging. And belonging is something many of them haven't felt since the moment they embraced Islam. Another silent battle reverts face is the fear of doing things wrong. Imagine being told your whole life one thing and suddenly discovering an entirely new truth. Their old habits don't disappear instantly. Their old lifestyle doesn't vanish overnight. They struggle with guilt, confusion, and uncertainty. They worry about making mistakes in wudu, in prayer, in pronouncing Arabic words. They doubt themselves, and sometimes that doubt becomes heavy enough to pull them away from practicing the religion. At this moment, your gentle guidance can be the difference between someone growing in faith and someone slowly fading away. Treat them with patience, not pressure. Encourage them, don't interrogate them. They need time to learn, and you need compassion to help them. And then there is the spiritual test. Shaitan targets new Muslims with an intensity that might surprise you. He whispers doubts, guilt, and fear. He makes them feel unworthy. He tries to convince them that Islam is too difficult or that they will never fit in. This is why the community must surround them with warmth. Your kindness can drown out the whispers of Shaitan. Your support can silence the doubts. Your presence can strengthen their resolve. Allah may use you as a shield for someone who is trying to hold on to Islam with trembling hands. When you understand their hidden struggles, your heart becomes softer and your support becomes sincere. And that sincerity can change a life. Kindness, compassion, and patience are not small actions. They are powerful gifts that can completely transform the experience of a revert. When someone embraces Islam, they step into a world where everything feels new and sometimes everything feels overwhelming. The greatest thing you can offer them is not a lecture, not strict expectations, not criticism, but a heart that welcomes them with gentleness. A revert needs someone who makes them feel safe while learning, someone who understands that they are taking their first steps into an entirely new spiritual life. And those steps must be guided with softness. When you treat a revert with kindness, you are reminding them that Islam is a religion of mercy. When you show compassion, you are teaching them more than 100 books ever could. When you are patient with their mistakes, you are helping them grow without fear. Imagine a new Muslim trying to learn how to pray. Their pronunciation may be incorrect, their movements may feel awkward, their understanding may be limited. If they are met with harshness or correction delivered without wisdom, their heart may shrink. They may feel embarrassed, discouraged, even ashamed. But if you approach them with a smile, gently guiding them step by step, you become a source of light in their journey. The Prophet taught through love, and most people change not through pressure, but through warmth. A revert will never forget the person who taught them how to say Surah Al-Fatiha with kindness. They will never forget the one who treated them like a brother or sister instead of an outsider who must adjust. Kindness leaves a mark that stays for a lifetime. Compassion also means understanding the internal storms they may be facing. Some reverts come with broken relationships, emotional scars, or cultural pressures. Their families may not understand why they changed their faith. Their workplaces may question their new identity. They might feel torn between their past life and their new beginning. Compassion means giving them room to breathe, letting them grow at their pace, and never criticizing their struggles. It means listening to them, supporting them, and being there when they feel confused. Compassion is not just a feeling. It is an action. It is the act of sitting with someone who is crying after losing their family's support. It is the act of reminding them gently that Allah sees their sacrifice. It is the act of making them feel that they are not walking this path alone. And then comes patience, perhaps the most important gift of all. A revert may take time to understand rulings, to build new habits, to leave old ones, to adjust to new values. Patience means allowing them to make mistakes without judging them. Patience means understanding that everyone grows differently. Your patience can become their comfort. Your calm approach can prevent them from feeling discouraged. When you combine kindness, compassion, and patience, you create an environment where a revert not only learns Islam but falls in love with it. And that love is what keeps them firm. Guidance is one of the greatest gifts you can offer to a revert, because without proper direction, they can easily feel lost in their new journey. A new Muslim often carries a mixture of excitement, fear, confusion, and hope. They are trying to understand a completely new way of life while dealing with the weight of their past and the uncertainty of their future. Many of them step into Islam with sincerity, but sincerity alone cannot replace knowledge. Without guidance, a revert may feel overwhelmed, unsure where to begin, and unsure which sources to trust. Your support can protect them from that confusion. You can become the person who brings clarity where there was once uncertainty, stability where there was once doubt, and confidence where there was once hesitation. A revert may face moments where they question themselves, not because they regret Islam, but because the path feels heavy when walked alone. Imagine a new Muslim who doesn't know how to pray properly or who feels embarrassed to ask questions because they think others will judge them. Their heart may be full of faith, but their mind may be clouded with doubt. In such moments, a guiding hand can help them stay steady. When you teach someone how to perform wudu, how to recite a simple dua, or how to take their first steps in Quran reading, you are not simply teaching rituals. You are helping them build their relationship with Allah. You are guiding them toward a path that leads to tranquility in this world and salvation in the next. Your guidance becomes a rope that keeps them connected to faith. Many reverts struggle with conflicting information found online or from different people. They might get overwhelmed by rules, differences of opinion, cultural practices mixed with religion, or harsh voices that don't understand their starting point. Without guidance, these confusions can push them toward frustration or make them feel like they are failing. But when someone steps in with wisdom and explains things slowly and gently, the revert gains clarity. They begin to understand that Islam is not complicated. It is simple, beautiful, and practical. You can help them filter out unnecessary noise and focus on the basics: prayer, belief, character, and connection with Allah. When they realize that they don't need to perfect everything at once, their heart becomes calmer. Guidance also protects reverts from falling back into old habits that may harm their faith. When someone comes from a lifestyle full of temptations or harmful patterns, they need a support system that reminds them of their new identity. If you guide them with warmth, you help them feel valued and understood. You remind them that growth takes time and that Allah loves their effort. People often return to old habits when they feel unsupported, judged, or misunderstood. But when they feel seen, heard, and guided gently, they stay firm. Your guidance can be the reason someone holds on to faith during their weakest moments. It can be the reason they remain connected to the masjid instead of drifting away. It can be the reason they continue learning instead of giving up. And perhaps, on the day of judgment, you will discover that the person you guided became a source of continuous reward for you, because every good deed they performed after learning from you became part of your legacy. Supporting reverts is not just an act of kindness. It is a responsibility placed upon us by Allah, because He may use you as a means of guidance, comfort, and strength for someone who is trying to hold on to faith with a trembling heart. When a person enters Islam, Allah has chosen them from billions. He has opened their heart, guided their mind, and illuminated their path. But after that first beautiful moment of shahada, their journey begins. And on that journey, they may face loneliness, confusion, fear, and pressure from every direction. This is where you come in. Allah may place you in their life so that you can help them stay strong. Your role is not accidental, it is purposeful. Maybe you were chosen to be the mercy that they need. Maybe you are the one whose actions will help them feel the beauty of Islam. When you support a revert, you are planting seeds of faith. Every kind word you speak, every gentle reminder you give, every moment you spend guiding them becomes a part of your worship. You may not realize it, but you could be the reason someone completes their first salah with confidence, recites their first shura correctly, or learns their first dua. These moments are small when you look at them from the outside, but they are massive in the sight of Allah. Supporting a revert is like helping a traveler in a storm. The storm may seem endless to them, but your presence gives them shelter. Your encouragement gives them direction. Your consistency gives them hope. When you support them, you are helping them build a strong foundation in their faith. Sometimes a revert may feel hesitant to ask for help. They might fear judgment, criticism, or rejection. They might think their questions are too basic or their mistakes too embarrassing. But when you create a safe environment for them, a space where they feel understood and valued, they begin to open up. They begin to ask, learn, and grow. And this growth becomes your shared journey. Your support can prevent them from slipping into doubt or retreating from the faith because they feel alone. You might not realize it, but your small acts, sending a reminder, teaching a dua, Checking on them might be the reason they stay strong when their heart feels weakened. And remember something deeply important. Allah rewards not only the good you do for yourself, but also the good you inspire in others. If a revert becomes steadfast because you supported them, every prayer they perform, every word of Quran they recite, every act of charity they give becomes a source of ongoing reward for you. Supporting a revert is not a temporary act. It becomes an eternal investment. Their growth becomes your benefit. Their worship becomes your reward. Their faith becomes your legacy. This responsibility is not a burden, it is an honor. Allah is giving you a chance to be part of someone's spiritual transformation. When you reach out to a revert, you are answering a call from Allah to be a means of goodness. And on the day of judgment, when every deed is counted, you may find mountains of rewards, simply because you chose to support someone who needed you.